the Everyman Radio podcast interview with Joshua Shea, former porn addict, on how to beat your porn addiction.
Hi, Josh.
Hey.
And welcome to Everyman Radio.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I hope you liked the song I just played.
It was new for me.
Yeah, new for me too. It's an interesting topic, pornography. And I've just seen some recent articles about how this lockdown, COVID-19, has, in some ways, increased people's access to or interest into pornography, which
absolutely,
it kind of does make sense. If you're locked in, you can't go out, but there's pornography on tap on the internet.
Absolutely.
Then why not? So what's the problem, Josh? Should there be a problem? It's just porn.
Well, I mean, there were people who said that in the early days of Coca-Cola when it came to cocaine. And people learned about how cocaine was dangerous later on. And there are people who said the same thing with heroin very early on, and that was used medicinally, and obviously is now not. And we've got the opioid crisis all over the world. We've had pornography as long as history, can go back. You can look at, ancient Egyptians and look at some of their vases and some of their pottery, and there are some heavy-duty XXX pictures on them. And you can go back to, even further back to cave painting times, and you will find pornography on them. My mission is not an anti-pornography one.
Okay.
It's always going to be there. I think that trying to fight an industry that, depending on who you talk to, is worth anywhere from $3 billion to $200 billion worldwide is foolish. And now that we're in the age of the internet, it's even more foolish. But in the age of the internet, what we've really seen is an obsession and even more addictive behavior when it comes to pornography. I myself was a pornography addict for nearly 25 years. I started with videos and magazines and moved my way over onto the internet. But right now we're learning what the first generation of men and women who were raised on the internet, who don't know a world before the internet, what the effect is on them. Back when you and I were kids, we had to stumble upon a magazine in the forest, or we had to, go into our dad's sock drawer and find, a Playboy magazine. And that's just not the way it is now. Now that every 12-year-old has one of these, they've got the greatest porn computer at their fingertips. And we're learning what the outcome of that is, and it is warped sexuality. It is being sexualized at a young age. It's problems performing sexually because they've fried their dopamine receptors and other pleasure sensors in their brain. And that doesn't even begin to talk about some of the potentially more moral issues of it, because ultimately there is no pornography that does not at its core reduce somebody to body parts. pornography is totally about objectification of another person. You don't look at pornography and think to yourself, well, I wonder how smart they are, or that kind of thing. It's just viewing people as a sack of body parts. And then on the further scientific way of things, there are so many studies out there that show pornography, and that when it leads to pornography addiction, is harmful. For instance, what do you call them? Couples who are having trouble with their marriage, or couples who are just looking to spice things up, when they introduce pornography to their marriage, they are 3 times more likely to divorce.
Oh, right.